So the ramp up that you guys are referring to are on units like the Greenworks, where you pull the trigger and you hear this and this. Hey everybody, it's James from Active, and I'm going to answer some questions that everybody's had on the 2.3. I'm sure there'll be lots more, but let's just get started answering some questions. So the first one will be, when is this going to be available? As mentioned, we are working hard on it right now. We have a couple deadlines coming up in terms of freezing, design, and functionality, which will enable us to launch this in early 2024. So we fully expect to have the product available in the market to everyone in the early part spring of 2024. Will the Active 2.3 work on 220 and 240 volts? The answer will be yes. The priority is North America first, which is 110, 120. And then as soon as we are nailed down on those specs, we will begin testing and certifying a 230, 240 volt version. One of the exciting things over the last few months has been the growth in our international expansion and having the products available in other territories, which necessitate higher voltages and the performance profile will be a little bit different actually, because they run different electrical systems around the world. But for the most part, everywhere except North America runs a higher voltage and gets slightly better performance, with the exception of Japan, I think. But yes, it will be available shortly after the launch in North America. Real Hero says the 2.3, where's the 2.1 and 2.2? My team wants to tell you that it's at the same place that Windows 9 is. I didn't get the joke either, but obviously some people do. Some people ask the question, we have the 2.0, why isn't this the 2.1 or 2.2? Why have we jumped all the way to 2.3? Well, 2.3 is the flow number that we are trying to achieve with this unit, and that's hence call it naming. That's how we're naming the product. Rafa Social says, damn, just got a 2.0. Is this more expensive? Well, fear not, the 2.0 is the same, but this will definitely be more expensive. You can see this is a lot heavier. This is an induction motor. There's a brass pump on this. So it's a different animal altogether. Longer service hours, better performance. It'll run quieter. It really is geared towards more of a commercial or upmarket user. Although obviously homeowners can buy it because it'll be a lot quieter as well. But I would say the 2.0, you have the best universal motor unit you can buy out there, and it's small form factor, it's lightweight, great performance. This is obviously heavier duty. You might want to have this more in a permanent installation, or commercial users will have it more in their truck and kind of run around with it. It's fine for both. Cars with Keith says, being an induction motor, will there be a ramp up? Now, common misconception is an induction motor is not necessarily what people refer to as a digital motor. So the ramp up that you guys are referring to are on units like the Greenworks, where you pull the trigger and you hear this and this, and it takes a long time to kind of wind up to get to pressure. This is not that. This is instant on, similar to a Cransley unit, or similar to our 2.0. When you squeeze the trigger, it starts right away, so there will be no ramp up on this unit, which I think a lot of people find annoying. I find it annoying myself. What would be the amperage requirements? Again, this is geared towards the regular North American household circuit, so we don't run it over 15 amps. In fact, we try to get it to under 14 amps, so that in the scenarios where people are modifying the nozzle sizes and you might get spikes in amperage, or you just have an older household circuit. We don't want people blowing circuits and not being able to use their pressure washer, as well as we don't want to overstress the components and have the motor run at its limit and therefore have lower lifespan. So we're not trying to juice the numbers, we're trying to build a reliable, dependable machine for the long run. Somebody asked, is this one serviceable? I kind of mentioned that a bit. Parts of it we believe will be either serviceable or replaceable. And again, the engineering work on that is how do you do that in a way that makes it easy for them to service it if that's what we choose to do. William says, will you have a package for it that includes a shotgun and foam cannon that's in development? That's a good question. I don't think we've fully thought it through how we're going to bundle this. Obviously, we're being very conscious of what price point this is to launch at. The challenge sometimes of launching it with all the best and greatest accessories is that then the price point starts to balloon very high, making it out of reach for people. We're also aware that many of our users have already invested in shotguns and hoses and different accessories for their previous pressure washers across different brands. So we also don't want to make it that we're mandating people to buy into the active system, although I think you should anyway. But yeah, we want to make it so that it's accessible and easy to use, not only with our stuff, but with stuff that people already have. Angelo asks, does this sit alongside the 2.0 or is it replacing it? It definitely sits alongside the 2.0. The Jeep 2.0 is and continues to be a great machine for many of you out there. And again, it's a lot smaller and lighter weight than this guy is because the nature of the motors are very different. So I think the 2.0 is going to satisfy still lots of customers' needs. And again, in both the units, the performance is really unmatched. When can we hear the difference between the two? Good question, but very shortly, I think. We'll have a performance testing video and we can have the 2.0 and the 2.3 running and we can do some sound tests. But really, I mean, it's really the quality of the sound. This is more of a hum as opposed to a whine. The 2.0 it's a universal motor that spins a lot faster, I guess, or just the nature of it. So it kind of spins and whines, whereas the induction, it hums and it's a much more pleasing sound, you could say. Can I run a 100-foot hose with this machine to detail it? Again, we've been doing a lot of testing at the factory. We know how customers are using this machine. We know that we're trying to encourage people to mount this on a wall type solution. So we know that people are going to be trying to use it with longer hoses, and that's something we're testing, and for sure we're going to give all that guidance and recommendation before we launch the product, because that's one of the things we learned with the V52 and the 2.0 is how much people are kind of using these in different scenarios and ways, and in ways that we didn't anticipate, to be honest with you, in the beginning. And so we're learning those lessons and making sure this can perform with as long of hoses as we possibly can. So the question from Sioux Valley ID, hopefully it doesn't smell like it's burning every time you use it. Just talk to the team to ask why this happens, and supposedly, A, it could be the brush of the motor wearing in. B, it could be bits of the cooling fan get into the motor, causing it to smoke and smell. I don't think those are common faults, but I guess it does happen once in a while. The answer should be no. No, this should not smoke and smell like it's burning every time you use it. Hope that answered most of your questions, but we're always happy and excited to hear more from you guys because you guys are a great source of information, and believe it or not, you guys have driven the development of this product in many, many ways. So please keep leaving your comments and questions, and we'll be doing our best to answer them. Hope you're as excited as I am to start seeing this in the market and having lots of people test it. And again, thanks for helping us make this the best version it can be before launch. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and to get more updates on the product, this and others. And as always, thanks for your support.